Hello everyone, 10 weeks in, welcome to the England Hockey League Preview Podcast. I'm Andy Day, your host. The 11th and final round of first phase games are almost here. Most teams already know their path in the second phase of the league, but there are a few places still to decide. We'll know on Saturday evening for sure. We'll hear from Clifton Robinsons about their season so far later on. Here are the Women's Premier Division fixtures for Saturday the 23rd of November. As it's the final round of games in Phase 1, all the matches in the two divisions will start at the same time, 2 p.m. for the Women's Premier. East Grinstead Clifton Robinsons, Holcombe University of Nottingham, Loughborough Students Bowdon, Reading Hampstead and Westminster, Sutton Coldfield Wimbledon, and University of Birmingham Surbiton. The women's teams confirmed as top 6, Reading, Hampstead and Westminster, Surbiton, East Grinstead and Wimbledon, and confirmed in the lower 6, Holcombe and Sutton Coldfield. We'll run through the preview alphabetically. 8th placed Clifton Robinsons are on the road and head to East Grinstead and are one of the 5 teams that could finish 6th and have now moved to 11 points following last week's 2-0 victory over Holcombe. That season is gathering a bit of pace. East Grinstead are assured of at least 4th and will be hoping of bouncing back after that 3-2 loss at Reading last time out. These teams had a remarkable match in the league finals semi-final in 2023, East Grinstead winning 9-8 in a shootout after a 3-3 draw. This is a very good test of this improving Clifton Robinsons side. Holcombe and University of Nottingham is 11th versus 9th, and both teams have been winless for a while. Holcombe since week 2, University of Nottingham a little less time, week 5. University of Nottingham have been picking up points from hard-fought draws and are still in contention for a top 6 place. Holcombe are assured of lower 6 hockey. They've only met twice before in the Premier. Last season's games were awash with goals, but they may prove harder to come by in this meeting. Loughborough Students win against Bowdon and they finish Phase 1 in 6th. Bowdon beat Loughborough Students and they could finish Phase 1 in 6th if other results go their way, so plenty at stake. Bowdon are on a run of 4 losses in a row. Loughborough Students are unbeaten in 3. Bowdon have recently had the upper hand in this fixture and have won more away games than home ones. This one will be tight. Reading, Hampstead and Westminster. The top 2 meet at Sonning Lane to decide which team takes the bragging rights that come with finishing top after 11 matches. Reading are in the driving seat, top since the 5th of October, knowing that a win or draw will see them retain first place while the season pauses, and also give them an unbeaten record going into 2025. Hampstead and Westminster are on a roll of 4 consecutive wins and trail Reading by a single point and have an unbeaten run of their own going back to round 2. Reading's last defeat in the league came at the hands of Hampstead and Westminster back in February of this year. Reading's attack is the sharpest. Hampstead and Westminster have comfortably the toughest defence in the league. Can't wait for this one. Sutton Coldfield complete Phase 1 by hosting Wimbledon, which is something they've not done since 1992. Wimbledon have only lost 2 of 11 and have been low scorers but regular winners. For example, their biggest win of the season came last week in a 3-1 win at University of Nottingham. Sutton Coldfield's season so far has been poor. Might there be a big finish to the first part of the season at Windley? 3rd place Surbiton are in a winning groove, 4 in a row since round 7, and they travel to University of Birmingham, who haven't taken all 3 points since the 3-4 win at Bowdon in October. University of Birmingham can still qualify for 6th, but need a win and other results to go their way. University of Birmingham has been a happy trip for Surbiton in recent seasons. University of Birmingham's last win came in 2019 in this fixture. Surbiton have been finding the net with regularity. University of Birmingham haven't scored since their 2-2 draw with University of Nottingham on October the 26th. The form book is pointing one way, but the form book isn't always right. Top scorers, University of Nottingham's Maddie Axford has been joined at the top with Beaver Mills of East Grinstead. Both have 8 for the season. In the clean sheets table, Miriam Pritchard of Hampstead and Westminster is now on 5 for the season. In the men's Premier Division, the top 6, these teams are confirmed. Old Georgians, Holcombe, Surbiton, Wimbledon and Hampstead and Westminster. Confirmed in the lower 6, Southgate, Richmond and Bowdon. As mentioned earlier, with the end of Phase 1, all of the matches in the 2 divisions will start at the same time, 6 p.m. for the men's Premier. It's worth noting that none of the 4 teams that could make the final top 6 spot play each other. Cardiff and Met Bowdon, East Grinstead Southgate, Holcombe Beeston, Old Georgians Wimbledon, Richmond Oxted and Surbiton Hampstead and Westminster. Bottom place Bowden travel to Cardiff with a boost of confidence that only a first win of the season can provide. Not only 3 points, but multiple goals scored for the second time this season in the bargain. Cardiff and Met have eyes on 6th place and have played out a rare 0-0 draw last weekend against East Grinstead. Bowden and Cardiff and Met know each other fairly well, having been regular opponents in Division 1 North in recent seasons. Cardiff and Met beat Bowden to promotion back in 2023. I think this one will be a very competitive one for both teams looking to finish the phase on a high. East Grinstead also have a shot at 6th. They start the day in 9th. Heading to St Hill are 10th place Southgate, who played well against Holcombe and remained in with a chance of a point against Holcombe last week until the very end of the game. East Grinstead are without a win in 6, but have drawn their last 2 to keep adding the points. Southgate were convincing winners the last time they met, 9-1 just over a year ago. I fancy this one to be very tight indeed. Beeston are having a torrid time of it, becoming Bowden's first victims of the season, and only a sprinkling of draws have saved their form looking worse. That said, they're also in with a shout of 6th, but they're up against one of the sides with 5 wins in their last 5. Holcombe, the venue for this one. Holcombe are flying, and with only 1 defeat and 1 draw across the first 10 games, it's also a fixture where Holcombe traditionally score heavily, 10-0 and 5-2, the last 2 scorelines from Holcombe Park. Henry Croft is on 12 for the season, so I wonder if there are more than a few goals from both sides on Saturday. Old Georgians will be top of the league at the start of the break. 5 clear of second place Holcombe. Next to take on the triple champions will be Wimbledon, who have looked impressive this season when I've had the chance to watch them. Both will play in the top 6 in 2025 and both met in the league final semi-final last season. This went all the way, Old Georgians taking the final place with a 4-3 win. Wimbledon are in good form, but Old Georgians are looking imperious and will want to maintain their unbeaten run. Game of the day? Oxted are in pole position as Saturday gets underway for the final top 6 place. They travel to Richmond knowing a win would get them over the line. Oxted will be meeting Richmond for the first time since 2019, but that was in the Conference East. Richmond will be aiming for win number 2 this season and have been reducing the number of goals conceded. Oxted's season has been a roller coaster with sizable wins and defeats. Simply impossible to forecast what will happen here, and has the ingredients of being a great match. Both Surbiton and Hampstead and Westminster are confirmed in the top 6, and the 3 points here on offer will be useful to take forward into the next phase. Hampstead and Westminster have both won and lost 5-0 in the last 2 match rounds, posted big wins elsewhere, but have found matches against Holcombe and Wimbledon closer affairs. Surbiton lost their unbeaten record against Old Georgians last week and certainly want to get back to winning ways swiftly. This is a good test for both teams who will meet again in 2025. On to the top scorers for the men. Sam Ward of Old Georgians is on 21 for the season. That's 5 clear of second place Struan Walker of Surbiton. Don't forget to visit England Hockey's socials for full listings of games and details of where games are being streamed. It's time for the interview, and we head to Clifton Robinsons today. On the line, Reggie Keats, head coach, and Abby Porter, assistant coach of Clifton Robinsons. Good morning to you both.
Morning, Andy.
So tell us about the season so far. Let's hear from Abby first.
Yeah, it's been a period of transition for us, kind of from the start of the season, and we've had to learn and develop quickly. But we're in a really positive place now, and there's a real buzz around the girls, and really good result of the weekend against Holcombe. That was important for us, and now just pushing on this weekend, ready for East Grinstead.
And Reggie, what's been the big difference between the start of the season and now, do you think?
I think the girls, from probably about week 3, they've transitioned into a new idea, a new intent. Their improvement has been quite significant, actually, since that week 3, in my opinion. And their desire just to improve and get better has been quite impressive.
Looking towards this weekend's fixture against East Grinstead, travel involved and, of course, the possibility of finishing in the top 6. Does that change things in your approach to the game?
No, I think, it doesn't change our approach. In some respects, it's irrelevant who we're playing at the weekend. Our processes are the same. it's a long travel to EG, but we've done that quite frequently over the last few seasons. So the girls are used to it, and they kind of take every challenge in their stride, really.
And Reggie, was top 6 something that might have been on your objectives for the season?
No, actually, it isn't. Our objectives are never sort of results based. It's only just to get better and have a better performance. So, although at parts we played really well against Holcombe, we know the areas that we want to improve on against EG coming up this weekend, and really looking forward to the challenge. They're a good side, and we want to put ourselves against good sides.
When Clifton Robinsons play at home, what's it like? What's the atmosphere like to have alongside the pitch?
We're a local club in the sense that lots of players lower down the club and throughout the teams are Bristol based. So we do get good support, and we do, especially when other sides aren't playing at the same time, we do get a real buzz, and the girls love being at home. It's brilliant. There's a real club atmosphere. There's a strong kind of social community that runs through our club, which is brilliant, and we do feel that support when we're at home on a Saturday.
What's your favourite away day on the calendar?
Well, I'm actually not the best at any away games, actually, and if I'm honest, I often get lost and perhaps a little bit late to the girls' amusement. But I suppose Wimbledon was good fun. I enjoyed Wimbledon.
Yeah, for me, having played in the league for years as well, kind of going away to Surbiton always has a kind of a special kind of vibe around it. I think that the atmosphere they create at Surbiton's always really brilliant. But do you know what? Being on the road against whoever we're away in the league always brings a different challenge, and it's brilliant to whether we're on the road or at home.
Clifton Robinsons has got a great record of producing young players. Reggie, tell us about the newcomers this season.
Yeah, well, we've actually had quite a few youngsters play for us. We're quite young this year, and it's been great that the experienced players have been able to support them as they have done. But for Abby and I, it's been really good to see them progress over the last 5, 6, 7 weeks. And we're really keen to do more of it, actually.
That's good to hear. Are there more players in the ranks that you might be calling on in the second part of the season?
Yeah, our ladies twos are a strong unit, so competition for places is always there. I think we're in a really strong place with the youngsters that we have in the club, and we certainly want to give them the experiences and the exposure to a high level of hockey to give them that stretch.
Like Reggie said, Ollie Keenan's doing some great work with our second team at the moment, and even kind of our third team below that are really pushing as well. So there's some real depth there and a real good balance of the kind of senior players and those coming through. And I think the club's in a really good space in terms of player development at the moment, and we're kind of seeing the dividends of that in the first team at the moment.
Reggie Keats and Abby Porter, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, Andy.
One more time, in 2024, we played Premier Division hockey. As ever, if there's something or someone that you want to hear from or have featured on this podcast, do get in touch with England Hockey and we'll see what we can do together in the new year. I've been your host, Andy Day. We'll be back next week for a review of the first half of the Premier Division season and a look at the final round of matches in the leagues below the Premier.